Hi everybody, welcome to the Emery's Memories channel. I'm your announcer, Gary Beatty. This channel was created to feature interviews by Ralph Emery. There are over 125 interviews by Ralph for you to enjoy on this channel. This channel has also become a collection point for rare and in some cases never before seen shows and interviews. What you're about to see is one of 14 classic interviews hosted by the LeGarde Twins from Sydney, Australia. It's part of a TV series they created, and it's called Down Home, Down Under. Now, these interviews have remained in their private collection, and they've never aired on radio or television until now. Watch this as they sat down with Randy Travis.
Welcome back to LeGarde Twins Down Home, Down Under. Now here's my brother Tom to tell you about our very special guest.
After the boom years of the 70s, the days of the outlaws and the urban cowboy, the country music world was in a turmoil. It had sunk into the doldrums. Then a young man from North Carolina burst upon the country music scene with a voice that had range, depth, and power. A new voice, a country voice singing songs that would touch the hearts of millions of people around the world. In 3.5 years, he has sold over 10 million records.
That's right, Tom. He had the right stuff that dreams and television soap operas are made of. He became the hottest thing in country music since the steel guitar, and now with over 50 major music awards, plus his recent 3 Golden Globe Awards to his credit, his universal appeal has taken him around the world. A very special talent indeed, our guest, Randy Travis. Welcome to the show, Randy.
Thank you. Glad to see you again.
And he finally got it after about
That's right.
right. Good on you.
That's quite an introduction.
You like
Thank
that? We worked on that pretty good, didn't we?
Did you write that?
Yes, sir. I sure did.
That's
I wrote
nice.
mine and he wrote his.
Well, thank you.
Us twins
That's
going to
great.
stick together. Hey, Randy, do you think that you played a major part in bringing the old school and the new breed of country music together?
Well, I guess I was part of it. I don't think I was the beginning. You know, I believe it started turning around with the coming of some people like George Strait and Ricky Skaggs, Reba McEntire, and a few like that. And then I think I was just in the right place at the right time. You know, I was in Nashville and working at a place. And I had been turned down by every label in Nashville, trying to get signed as an artist. And reason being, there wasn't a place for what I was doing. And being just traditional country music. And after staying at the Palace for a while, living here for several years, then I got signed because it's what I wanted to do when the music started taking a turnaround, you know. For a long time, labels weren't signing anybody new. It was the same people all the time, which you know that, and everybody that keeps up with country music.
Were you too country, you felt, at that, too traditional?
That was basically what they were saying when they were turning me down, you know. There just wasn't a place for the traditional style of country music like I wanted to do because it wasn't selling at that time. And it's kind of odd, you know, labels weren't signing anybody new, and most people were trying to record crossover music. Most weren't having success. There were a few that was having great success. I mean, like Kenny Rogers was having a lot of great success and did some great music in Alabama, but most weren't having that kind of success, and they were basically just country artists trying to record pop music, and to me it got kind of boring at that time.
Randy, when you were growing up in North Carolina, who influenced you to get into the country music?
Oh, Hank Williams Sr. was my first favorite.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, as a kid I was singing his songs because my daddy was a big Hank Williams fan, and so he had all his records, I guess, at one point. And Hank, Lefty Frizzell, Merle Haggard, George Jones, people like that.
How many in your family? Are you the only?
No, I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and believe it or not, at one time all of us were playing something.
Oh, is that right?
And everybody gave it up except for me and my brother Ricky. He's still playing some around the Carolinas.
You never got into...
You stuck it out. I guess, like you said, the fella said, well, I started out in show business, and then he said I developed a habit of eating regularly, so he said I quit. Hey,
right.
Randy, you know, it's been said that nobody has ever moved a mountain by himself or herself. And there is a person that came into your life that really believed in your talents and believed in you, Lib Hatcher, who
Yes,
has
she
worked
did.
diligently for your career.
For a lot of years now, yeah.
Where did you first meet, Randy?
I met her in a club. In fact, she owned the club in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I entered a talent contest, won the talent contest, and started working there full time. A little story to go along with that, my brother and I entered it together.
As a
And then-
duet?
As a duet, well, yeah, I guess as a duet. And he was a lead guitar player. He didn't really care to sing that much, and I did most of the singing. But anyway, we entered the weekly event, and then they had, you know, at the end of 10 weeks, the finals of all the weeks. And so I went back and entered the finals by myself. He didn't go with me, and so I won that and started working there full time. And she started managing my career and has ever since.
Were you a good boy? I mean, were you?
No, I was a bad boy. I was a
You
pretty
were
bad
hard to
boy.
handle, were you?
I was in my younger years. Luckily, I got over that. You know.
Did she
and-
take a baseball bat and hit you a few times?
No, she didn't do that. You know, basically, I grew up and I guess kind of started looking at myself and seeing that what I was doing was wrong. And she was a big help, you know, as far as that goes. A lot of direction from her, and I guess the combination from her and the music. Giving me something to do, you know, a full-time job singing rather than staying in the streets all the time, I guess.
Our mom used to tell us when we did anything wrong, she'd make us get in front of a mirror. And she'd say, "Do you like what you see?" And we say, "No, Mommy," you know. But hey, we have a lot in common. And this is really phenomenal when you think about it. We grew up with Roy Rogers as our hero. And we'd walk 13 miles to see his movies. And here you are a young fella. We're a lot older than you are. And what did it feel like when your manager, Lib Hatcher, presented you with Trigger Jr. from Roy Rogers?
That was great. That was, I guess, as nice a gift as I ever could receive. He is at the house right now. In fact, we took him to the man who trained the original Trigger, and he's about 82 or 3. Glenn Randall, yeah.
Randall,
He's still
right.
training.
Is that right?
And so, yeah, this Trigger will kneel down. While you're on him, you can make him kneel, and then from there, lay down, sit up, answer you yes and no, and can make him stand in front of him, make him rear up and stand on his hind legs if he wants to.
Yeah.
Do you like to
You
ride,
know,
Randy?
if he's in the mood to do it. Yeah, I've been riding all my life.
Really?
Will you take him on some of your tours, like when you're playing some of the fairs or rodeos?
And no, we haven't yet.
haven't?
I've never done anything like that with him. I don't know that I would,
Hey,
truthfully.
don't you think it'd be great, though, to try like some of the, go back like Roy used to do it years ago in the big rodeo arenas?
And Gene Autry ride out, you know, with her.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing that?
No, I haven't. It'd probably be a fun thing to do, truthfully. I got the opportunity to spend some time with Roy and talk with him about some of that, the traveling that he did when he was on the road with Trigger. And in fact, we recorded a song with him. We recut Happy Trails for
Oh,
a
is that
duet
right?
album that we're doing, yeah.
Are you a Roy Rogers fan?
Yeah, I always have been, yeah.
You used to watch him on his movies or just on
Oh,
television?
Yeah. I watched, you remember the serial that he did
Yes.
that ran for a while? I've watched a lot of those, and now, of course, he's on the Nashville Network. I watch him there once in a while when they play the old shows, and I have several tapes, truthfully, that I keep on the bus and watch once in a while.
Now, what about Hopalong, Cassidy, and Gene Autry? Are you fans of theirs
Yeah,
too?
I'm a fan of both theirs, too. I've never, well, I have met Gene. I've never been around him that much.
You have a phenomenal opportunity, Randy, really, when you think back in retrospect of the career that those guys have. And here, you know, you're young and you're good looking and you really have a robust character about yourself, and you like horses and you like the outdoors and the outback. I can envisage you really someday doing a Western movie like that. I really do.
I
like
would
to do that?
to
Would
do
you like to
yeah,
do that?
I would love to do
Well,
that.
you have
at
the
some
horse
point.
now,
I've
you know.
got the horse, yeah.
All you need is the hat, right?
That's it, yeah. We had some opportunities, you know, to do some things. They weren't Westerns, but received some movie scripts and read, and we've never accepted anything. If I were going to try something, though, a Western would really be fun. I'd love to do that.
What about Young Guns? You did a movie.
Well, that's true. Now, that was a Western, but I didn't, they ended up cutting my part out. I ended up on the editing room floor.
But that must have been an experience for you, though.
It
Who
was.
was
It
in the movie?
Emilio Estevez and Lou Diamond Phillips, Kiefer Sutherland, Brian Keith, a lot of great people in it.
Now, are you planning to pursue like some kind of an acting career?
Possibly.
Hopefully.
Possibly, yeah. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
I think It'd be something different, and I've enjoyed the few little things that I've done. You know, it was fun to do.
We're talking with our very special guest, Randy Travis. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll be right back, so don't go away.
We're talking with our very special guest, Randy Travis. Randy, how many overseas tours have you done now?
We have done three.
Three?
We, of course, for 3 years have done a USO tour, you know, playing for the military bases. And we've done 2 tours in our own tours in Europe. And we went into Europe 3 times. We've been over to Japan and Korea. Been to Australia once. And
how do you like it?
I love Australia. The people were really good. You know, a lot of people have asked me what the tour was like, and I always tell them it was a smaller audience than we work for here, but basically it was just the same.
Receptive, right?
Sure was. Really good people and beautiful country. I enjoyed it.
Would you like to go back? I mean, if you had a
yeah,
chance?
we will go back. Yeah, at some point we'll go back and
go to the Outback. You didn't get a chance to go.
No, we didn't. We went in, as I was telling you, we went in and went to work the next day. We went in one day, went to work the next, and worked almost every day for 2 weeks.
And you should have spent.
When we weren't singing, we were sleeping.
You should have spent a day and a night in Honolulu on the way down to Broken, the journey. Because, you know, you lose a day on the way going down, and you gain a day on the way back. But you need to spend a day and a night in Honolulu. That'll give you a chance to rest up. And then when you arrive in Sydney, then you're ready to go to work, you know.
We'll try to
You
do
did it
that
the hard
next
way,
time.
right?
Yeah, we sure did. We didn't know any better. We've learned, though.
You're going to have to talk to Libby about that.
That's right.
Hey, Randy, one thing, you can take this to the bank. Now the fact that you've planted the foundation in Australia, I guarantee you 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, when you think that far ahead, you know, that you'll still be able to go back to Australia, and you've created a tremendous audience there. Where would you like to see Randy Travis, say, in the year 2000?
Yeah, that's a little too far ahead, I think.
It's only 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know where I'd like to. Well,
still traveling, still touring?
Still working some. Yeah, I'm sure I'll always want to do that, but at a slower pace, of course. Possibly try acting a little bit by then, and I would like to write a lot more. And still do some shows on the road, but at a lot slower pace. You know, the first couple of years we were on the road about 200 days each year, and well, this past year was about the same. We didn't work quite as many dates, but we were on the road a lot. Right. And this year looks like it's going to be very busy too. And I have a good time. You know, I always enjoy working for an audience, but it's always tough, as you know. Traveling is hard on you.
Getting from place to place. Although today, Randy, you know, you have those beautiful big buses you travel in, and so that makes it a little more convenient and a little more comfortable, you know.
It makes it a little easier, yeah.
Don't you think, Randy, too, the attitude of the young, new breed is a refreshing thing? And, you know, everybody has to pay their dues, don't you think? And you paid your dues, like, and actually, you really sang for your supper when you first came here, didn't you?
Well, I worked, it's funny, I would go in the evening and clean up the place, the palace you're talking about. I would clean up and then cook until, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock.
You're a good cook?
Well, I cook. I'm not a great cook, no. I learned to cook what was on the menu, and that was about it. I didn't learn very much other than that.
Hey, what do you think? I'm sorry, Tom. What do you think of the food down in Australia?
Oh, I love it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, a lot of great. I had some wonderful seafood while we were
What about steaks? Because we're big steak eaters down there, you know.
Yeah, I had steak a few times, and truthfully, I don't eat a lot of beef. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to it, and I love it. Yeah, so I eat it very seldom. But I do love a steak, and so I had that, a lot of seafood, as I said. But I had some really good food.
Are you health conscious? I mean,
I am. I try to exercise a lot and try to watch what I eat and stay in good shape.
Mentally, physically, and spiritually?
Yes, sir, that's right.
You have to, right, Randy, in this business?
You do, especially staying on the road as much as we do.
You know, if you're going to be a champion, it's important, because, you know, if you're a champion of anything, you've got a lot of contenders out there trying to take your crown away from you. And whether it be a country, an athlete, or a performer, you've got to keep yourself physically fit. And it's important. You're a credit not only to yourself, Randy, but I think to country music, because you've embellished the area of country music. and the industry is grateful for that.
And I think another thing too, Randy, that is a credit to you is that you're very clean cut, very family oriented, and I think that has made a big difference. I think in your popularity, as far as I'm concerned, and I think you're a great influence on country music.
Well, thank you.
Per se, you know.
What were your feelings in Europe? Did you happen to get close to like the Berlin Wall when you were over there?
No, we didn't get in that area of the country, but like when we worked the USO tour, for instance, around the military people who were a lot more involved in that than just the local people. It was kind of like a lot of excitement about that, so yeah, you could feel it.
We've been talking with our very special guest, Randy Travis. We'll be right back. We're talking with our very special guest, Randy Travis. Randy, you were telling us that you're working on another brand new album?
Yeah, we're working on a duet album, and the way it will happen is we're into a new album right now. We're going into the second single, and then we have a greatest hits album coming out toward the end of this year. And then beginning of next year, we go into the duet album. So far, we have recorded with Roy Rogers, George Jones, Tammy Wynette, Dolly Parton, and Chet Atkins on one song. And we're going to California and do the Grammys pretty soon, and we're doing Clint Eastwood while we're out there.
Wow. Now, how many songs did you do with Roy?
Did one. We did Happy Trails.
Oh, just the one song?
Did you sing the harmony or the lead?
I haven't done my part, truthfully. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What happened was we didn't have a lot of time. It was kind of like we were all rushed because with Roy in the studio, everybody was coming by wanting to take pictures and meet Roy. So we didn't get much done that day. We got Roy's voice down and the music tracks, and that was about it. I didn't sing any.
Then you'll go back and put your voice on the track.
I'll go back and figure out what parts I need to sing harmony.
And you're going to be doing a duet with No Show George, eh?
We've done it. We have finished that one. Yeah.
He showed up for that one.
George was there.
Randy, looking to the future and the world situation that it is today, what would be some of the real contributing factors, or some of the things, peace and harmony that you would like to see happen within the next, say, 5 to 10 years around the world? You have any feelings about that?
I try and keep up with the news, and so I'm very familiar with the things that are going on, you know, as far as in Berlin, East and West Berlin, and Poland, Czechoslovakia, and all those places. I mean, I think I'm pretty much like everybody else, where I'd love to see peace come to all those places, and just more or less see everybody get along. And I don't know, I'd love to see people become more aware, I guess, of the Earth itself, as far as worrying about the hole in the ozone and that sort of thing, and keeping the Earth clean, and the atmosphere clean, the water clean, and all of that, really.
You know, someone once wrote, Randy, that peace will never be made by documents, but only in the hearts of men. And I think it's wonderful to see what's happening over in that part of the world, that people are drawing closer together, you know.
Now, do you have any immediate plans right now when you would be going back to Australia, Randy?
We don't have it on the books yet, and I'm not sure that it will be this year. If it were this year, it would be toward the end of the year, or possibly the beginning of next year. I'm not positive yet.
You were down there during the winter months, weren't you? June and July?
I want to go back in the summer.
Well, not right in the dead of summer, because it gets awfully hot, you know.
When is the best time?
February
or April?
No, February or March, Tom.
Well, February, March, yeah, I guess so.
February, March. Okay, well, we'll try and do that then.
You haven't been north up near the Barrier Reef, have you?
No, we didn't make that.
You like snorkeling and scuba diving?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I mean, you'd love it. It's the best in the world. You can look down out there 1,000 feet and see all coral and the different varieties of fish and everything.
Yeah,
you know?
I would enjoy that. I don't go scuba diving, but I love snorkeling. That's a lot of fun.
Do you have any special persons or any special message you'd like to convey to your Australian fans?
Well, to everybody in Australia, again, we enjoyed coming, and thanks for treating us so well, and we look forward to coming back, and hopefully very soon.
Who was the promoter that took you down? Was it...
Harley, what is his name? Harley Metcalf, is that his name?
Yeah.
He was good to work with.
They treat you good?
Yeah, he was a real easygoing person. He was about the most laid-back person I've ever met.
Did you understand
Oh, yeah.
Really good. Like we said, we both speak the English language, but you folks have a bit of an accent. Hey, Randy, we want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule
Randy,
to
thank
come
you
and say
so
hello
much.
to us.
Yeah.
You're a bonza bloke. That's a great fellow.
All right. What? How did you say that?
A bonza bloke
A bonza bloke.
is a great
Okay,
fellow.
I remember that.
Or a good mate.
What a great classic one-on-one interview with Ted and Tom, the LeGarde Twins. I want to tell you about their book, The LeGarde Twins, Showbiz Hustlers. Let me take you back to the beginning. These twin boys walked 15 miles across the bushlands of Australia to a tent with a dirt floor and folding chairs. As the projector started up, the movie appeared in black and white on the screen, and there for the first time, they saw Hopalong Cassidy. They ran almost all the way home and told their mom, "We're going to become cowboy singers." Let me read the introduction to Showbiz Hustlers. Being raised in the bushlands of Australia in the 1930s and 40s was a rough and hard life. We didn't think about it back then because that's how life was. You have to live the hard life to understand it. But we also made a picture in our minds of the kind of life we wanted to lead, and it became a beacon that has guided us on our long journey in show business. We hope and pray that our book falls into the hands of our fellow strugglers and dreamers to give them unfailing encouragement to pursue their hopes and dreams. Above all else, we want to give God all the praise and glory for our long lives and for His mercy and grace in dealing with us throughout the years. So grab the reins and ride over 1 million miles with us from the bushlands of Australia across 7 continents through 23 countries and 45 of the 50 states in America. Let's ride. Ted and Tom LeGarde. They appeared in Vegas, movies, and TV shows. And for you Trekkies out there, get this. This book is packed with pictures and stories and is a must-read. We'll put a link below the video so you can get your copy of The LeGarde Twins, Showbiz Hustlers. The LeGarde Twins, Showbiz Hustlers makes a great gift. This book is about twin brothers from Australia who had a dream, and it came true. This is Gary Beatty, and as Ted and Tom LeGarde would say, "G'day, mate."